So at the end of last season, the board gave me a massive £250 million to spend on new signings. Let's go and have a look at how much I've spent, who I've spent it on, and can we get any better than we was last season, where basically we won everything except the Spanish Cup. Okay, welcome to the video, folks, and let's start at the finance screen, because essentially this is about trying to get finances back on parity again. And we do have 218.2 million in the bank. That will obviously drop down as the season goes on. What I did find quite interesting, actually, I've not noticed it with any other league in FM that I've managed in, and I've been around a bit this season or in this year's game, but you get the television money, you get basically half of it up front, and then the rest of it is given to you in monthly instalments throughout the course of the season, which in theory should actually help the bank balance stay at a reasonable level. And I actually think it's a pretty good way of doing it as well. So yeah, just thought I'd pass that on. A bit of useless information, but there you go. As I said in the intro, we had £250 million to spend on new signings. And this might make it look like I've barely been spending any money, but I have actually spent around £250 million. But obviously we've had players coming in as well. We are fractionally under our wage budget by about £40,000. I have also been able to get the transfer revenue increased from what was 55% last time to 70% this time. My aim is also to get this up to 100% by the time the series ends at the end of next season, so the end of next week's episode. So if we can get that up to 100%, then that obviously shows the board have complete faith in the finances. If we look at the debts and loans, the transfer debt is almost zero, 34.3 million. The net debt is 116.6 million. 116.6 million. It's getting closer to parity now. I mean, we're not too far away from a net debt that you'd get at a lot of big clubs, if we're being quite honest. So the finances are taking care of themselves, as you would expect them to do. If we have a look at the projections are going up and up and up. £486 million bank balance by the end of next season, and the season after that 716 million. We obviously won't be around to see this, but hopefully we'll be around to see that. Right, the next thing we'll look at, because I know you guys want to see what I've been spending the money on, so let's have a look at transfers, and we'll go back to the end of last season because we had some ins and outs to tell you about here. So if we have a look at what happened from the start of the transfer window on the 1st of July, we've had few free transfers go out, as you can see. Mika Faye, though, did leave. He went to Sevilla for 8.5 million, and Rafinha went to Saudi Arabia to Al Hilal for 53 million. So there's 61.5 million pound we had coming in. It was basically the sale of Mika Faye. I realised we're still on 55% of transfer revenue retained. So before the sale of Rafinha went through, that's when I made the request, and they upped it to 70%. So yeah, £61.5 million coming in there. But then we get to the players that we signed, and I am very excited about some of these, well, all of these actually. João Neves in from Benfica for 55 million, rising to 64 million. If we have a look at him, he's 4-star current and potential ability. He has got some insane attributes. I mean, his physicals are really good. Stamina, natural fitness and balance, all 17, strength 14. Remember what I said in last week's video about how we like players that have got good strength, stamina, natural fitness, pace, or, we want them to be big, strong, quick. Then you get to the mentals: aggression 17, bravery 16, concentration 18, determination 17, vision 16, work rate 17. I mean, he's even got like composure and decisions that are an anticipation, which will probably turn yellow very, very soon, I'd imagine. Getting to the technicals, first touch is 16, passing is 16. Again, very solid on all his technicals as well. He can play the ball-winning midfielder, the Mazzala, deep line playmaker, central midfielder, advanced playmaker, box-to-box. But this guy can do everything and anything we want to in this area and in this area. I am so excited. 21 years old as well. To get him for 55 million, rising to 65 million. Valuation now of already up to 120. Like I said, he's only 21 years old. He's already got 18 caps for Portugal as well. A worldwide reputation, a world-class midfielder. This is a very, very good signing. Then we get to Yeremy Pino from Villarreal, 55 million raising to 63 million. 23-year-old Spanish international, valuation of up towards 96 million, 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Again, we look at his physical attributes: 16 for agility, 16 for balance. He's got decent natural fitness and pace. His strength does need a bit of improving. He's got 16 for flair. He's got 17 for dribbling, 16 for technique. This guy looks really good, and I really like. He's an elite winger, worldwide reputation. I'm really looking to see what we can get from him. We are playing him in these more advanced positions as an inside forward as well, rather than a winger. But I think he's going to have a terrific season for us, and he is our starting left-sided winger in the absence of Rafinha, of course. Then we've got Jovan Zivkovic from Rapid for £13 million. We met his release clause. 20-year-old Austrian international with some really decent attributes to him. Again, agility 16, pace 17, acceleration 15, good natural fitness, good strength. Again, he fits that mould of being strong, quick, all that sort of stuff. He's a striker. He's got 15 for finishing. His composure is 15 as well, and also going up. Decisions are 14. Hopefully they will go up as well. 3-star current ability with 3 to 4-star potential. He's basically a Penda's competition along with Valentin Carboni, or Carboni, however you want to say it. So that's these players come in 127, 137, 140 million pound on them 3 players alone. Remember that number, 140 million. As we then go over here, add on another 75, that's 215 million pound. Connor Williams has come in from Aston Villa for 33 million pound. Defensive midfielder, 2-star current with 5-star potential. He's an 18-year-old Welsh wonder kid, already capped 9 times by Wales. Valuation now of up to 62 million pounds. He's going to be the backup to Kefren Turam, our 120 million pound sign. I'll still say that because we've not spent that much money on any player before. But yeah, he's the support to him, and you'll see why when we go through the outs. Really excited about him. I think he could be a terrific player for us, and we need to give him plenty of game time. I've been looking at fullbacks as well, and there's a real lack of fullbacks to bring in that are in any way, shape or form affordable. I did look at Josko Gvardiol of Manchester City, and not only was he valued at around £280 million, £250 million, something like that, his wage demands were like £450,000 a week, and my board will not allow me to pay that amount of money. But we have brought in 28-year-old German international David Rahm, 4-star current and potential. Look at his attributes, especially his mentals. His mentals are amazing. His physicals are very decent as well. He's got a reasonable amount of strength. He's got 17 for stamina, 17 for natural fitness, 16 for pace, 15 for acceleration. Fits the mould that we've been saying about. In terms of his mentals, he's got 16 for aggression, 17 determination, 16 for off the ball, 16 teamwork, 17 work rate, and worldwide reputation, attacking fullback. On the technical, he's got 18 for crossing as well, which would really help for when he gets forward and gets the balls in. He has already got 1 assist in the Super Cup this season at a rate of 7.60. He's played 3 Spanish First Division La Liga games, 6.97. I think once he settles in, builds up a bit of a partnership with Yeremy Pino down that left-hand side, I think he will be a fabulous signing as well. And yeah, he came in for £42 million, again, matching his release clause. In terms of players that have gone out, Jenna Villajoana has gone out to Manchester City. Basically, he was getting towards the end of his contract. We hadn't offered him a new contract. Man City came in to get him on a free transfer. As part of that free transfer, they've had to pay us £1.6 million compensation. But then I don't know if we can see it in his contract, but no, we can't. There's also things in here where they pay us something like £52,000 for every game he plays for them, up to 20 games. So that's a couple of million as well. So all in all, the total value is around £3.5 to £4 million we're getting for Villajoana. Not great. He's probably worth a lot more than that, but it is what it is, better than nothing. Vita Roque has gone to ATP on loan for a £1.5 million total loan fee. There's no obligation or option or anything like that. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa has gone to Al Ittihad. Now, bearing in mind, when we bought this man, He came in for £65 million. He's now 30, about to turn 31 in a few months. And we've actually made a little bit of profit on him. So I think that's pretty decent business. We could be making up to £10 million profit if the add-ons and all that go through as well. 68 million rising to £78 million. The rest of the outgoings are basically all loan fees, loans. So the ones that stand out, Firmin has gone to Leicester for £275,000 loan fee, but there is a mandatory fee in there for £6.5 million as well. So at the end of this season, we will be getting £6.5 million for him. Armando has gone for £1.5 million to Vallecano on loan. No option or obligation or anything like that. Pablo Tor has gone to Nice. He was a pain in my backside, £175,000 loan fee. Serginho Dest has gone to Sevilla for a £450,000 loan fee. There is an optional future fee of 10 million. So hopefully they will pay the 10 million for Serginho Dest. Hopefully he has a good season with them and proves he is worth the money, because there isn't space for him in our squad. We are pretty much at a case with our squad where it's one in, one out. So anyone that we buy, we have to let someone go. We're doing really pretty perfect when it comes to homegrown status with the amount of players we've got trained at club and nation and all that sort of stuff. So we have no concerns in that department, and a lot of them are quite young as well. So everything's looking great in that respect. If we have a look at the dynamics, team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is excellent. Managerial support is very good as well. If we have a look at what is currently our best 11, this is the 11 we would put out if everybody was fit. Mamadashvili in goal, Ram at left back, Ferdi at right back, Antonio Silva and Diamandi in the middle, Thuram, Gavi and João Neves in the centre of midfield, Jeremy Pino, Lamine Yamal and Openda up top. And then if we flip that around to our second 11, I mean, Pedri's not a bad player to have in his second 11, is he? It would be Iñaki Pina in goal, Balde left back, Fort right back, Kabasi and Koundé in the defence. That looks a really solid defence as well, with some young upcoming talent in there like Fort and Kabasi, with some good current potential players in Koundé, Balde and Iñaki Pina as well. In midfield, we'd have Connor Williams, Arsenis and Pedri. That's a very solid midfield. Ansu Fati and Carboni out wide with Sivkovic up top. I love this as a backup team. I've got to say, I am confident that backup team can beat most teams in the league. Maybe not Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, teams like that, but certainly pretty much anybody else. I am very happy with that. If we have a look at the schedule then, pre-season friendlies, yeah, they are what they are. They're there basically to build up fitness and get a bit of confidence into players, get them scoring goals and whatever else. We won all of our pre-season friendlies, which is nice for the confidence. We have drawn a game already, but we'll start off with the first game against Atletico Pamplona, a 3-1 win in that game. Jeremy Pino, Ansu Fati, Lamine Yamal getting the goals in that one for us. Then we played the UEFA Super Cup against Tottenham Hotspur. 2-0 win, Lois Openda and Jeremy Pino getting on the score sheet in that 2 from 2 from Jeremy Pina. Raul Hispalis up next at home in the league, Lois Openda and Ferdi Cadiolu. Then we had the game against Atletico Madrid, which was 0-0. And then we played Valencia, who at the time were actually top of the league. How old is Jorginho, by the way? He's now 34 years old, coming up to 35 by the end of this year. He must be getting, I mean, to be fair, he's got some really decent technical and mental attributes. His physicals have gone down significantly, but yeah, it is what it is. Yes, we beat Valencia 3-1, 2 for Lois Openda, 1 for Kefram Thuram, and then obviously Jorginho getting on the score sheet as well. Lamau has picked up a slight injury, but we'll be fine without him. Coming up next is Real San Sebastian, who are 9th in the league. Our Champions League draw, just filter that down for you. It is a tough draw, I've got to say. If we have a look at it, we've got Bayern Munich away, RB Leipzig at home, then PSG at home, Copenhagen and Maccabi Haifa. These are the two easy ties for us. Both away from home though, so they're not as easy as they could be. Then we have Juventus away from home before playing Sevilla at home and AS Monaco at home. Bayern, Leipzig, PSG, Juventus, you would imagine are going to be very, very tough games. We should have enough to get past Copenhagen, Maccabi Haifa, Sevilla and Monaco. But yeah, there is some really tough games in there. let's get all the competitions back on the screen again. Get rid of that. And yeah, so after we've got Villarreal in between Bayern Munich and Leipzig, Villarreal 5th in the league at the moment. Girona, Sevilla, Real Madrid, PSG. We have got a tough start to the season. If we can get past PSG into the Levante game and we've not lost, I will be very impressed with this team, because I will have to do a bit of rotation around here somewhere along the line. So yeah, that is a tough draw in the Champions League. In terms of the league table, we are in 7th, but we have got a game in hand. If we win that game in hand, we're probably not going to go top, because Real Madrid has 6 goals ahead of us on the goal difference. But certainly we could move up to 12th. In actual fact, I don't think goal difference is a deciding factor. It must be results between the two teams or something. When you look at Sevilla, have got a less goal difference than Vallecano. So if you just have a look at the rules, I haven't actually noticed this before. So the league sorting rule, yeah, results between the teams, then goal difference, then goals scored. So it could even be that if they've not played each other, maybe Sevilla have scored more goals than Vallecano. But yeah, it is what it is. Right, there you go. That's the schedule. In terms of how we will end the season, by the way, our final 5 games, we've got Vigo, Alaves, Vallecano, Mallorca and Malaga. So other than maybe Vallecano, who has started well this season, that's not a bad end to the season. If you include Tenerife, Albacete and Almeria, who had a good season last season, got into the European places. But that end of the season could be crucial for us, especially if we've still got Champions League football to play and we need to rotate accordingly. So that is probably about it from this part of the video. We'll move over to the second part of the video, where we can have a look at how our season's going. Have we made any more transfers, ins or outs, in the January transfer window? And the next time you see me will be just before we play Valencia in the league. Oh, boys and girls, look at how well we're doing. The Spanish Cup, we're through to the 4th round, but the Spanish First Division, we are currently top of La Liga, level on points with Real Madrid. We are ahead of them on goal difference. And at the moment, that is all that is keeping us ahead of Real Madrid. It is literally fight to fight. It's a slugfest at the top of La Liga. In the Champions League, we're through to the round of 16. We finished 3rd in the group, 6 wins, 2 draws from our 8 games. Not quite as easy and straightforward as last season, but comfortable enough. Obviously, we won the UEFA Super Cup. I think you knew about that from part 1. And the Spanish Super Cup, we got knocked out in the semi-final by Real Madrid, by Atletico Madrid. I did field a second string side in that game because I just weren't worried about it, to be honest. I would like to win the Super Cup because I don't think I've actually won it in my time as Barcelona manager. I'm just trying to have a look. So we've won the UEFA Super Cup, the Champions League, First Division, Super Cup, World Club Championship. Oh, we have won the Spanish Cup. We won it in 2025. So we won it there. But I'd like to win it again, just for the sake of having it on my CV as a multiple-time winner of. Right, let's get to transfers, because there has been some huge news in the transfer part of the show. And if we get to it on this screen here, we've not brought anyone as such, but we have sold Pedri to Manchester City for 131 million, rising to 170 million. We will get all of that 170 million, because if we come over to the clauses screen and find wherever Pedri is on here, there you go. We're getting £30.1 million in instalments, as well as £100 million we received up front. And then Barcelona will be due 39 million after another 19 league appearances. So it's basically after 20 league appearances, we'll get £39 million. That will happen, I would imagine, early next season. So yeah, that 39 million will be added to our bank account, or our transfer budget, I should say, some point next season. We're also going to be receiving 15.5 million next January and 15.5 million the following January. That money has already been given to us as part of the transfer fee, because it is money we will be getting. It's just in instalments. So yeah, big news there in terms of Pedri. Vitor Roque returned from his loan at ATP and has now gone back out on loan again at ATP for £500,000. Who else is there? And just Oscar. We have actually made a few £1 million on a couple of youngsters, but for some reason, when it's the Barcelona B team, it doesn't show you signing players that you sold from your B team, which I find quite disturbing because we've made probably about 4 million from the selling of like 3 players. It's not much, I'll grant you, but effectively one of those signings, I think his name was Landy or Randy. Can we find him on here anywhere? Let's see if I can type in Landy and find him. No, I don't know where he is, but he's in there somewhere anyway. And we sold him for something like £1.8 million. And it does become relevant, that £1.8 million. Squad are unhappy, as you can see there, but that's tough. Yeah, I can't find him. But it does become relevant because we are signing Florian Wirtz on a free transfer. Now, there is a story behind this guy because obviously we knew we was going to be selling Pedri. So I decided it would be an idea to try and find a replacement for him. And I'd seen Florian Wirtz in our scout report previously. And he had a valuation of 63 to 88 million pound. And I thought, okay, even if it costs us 88 million, that's still a significant profit from the Pedri sale. So I went to discuss the transfer with his agent, and his agent informed me that we could start contract negotiations now because his contract was expiring in 6 months' time, or we could pay £80 million, which is what Bayern Munich are looking for, to sign him now. And I just thought, I'm not paying 80 million when I can just sign him on a free transfer. So we signed him, or we offered him the contract anyway, significant contract as well. I'm not sure if we can actually view the contract. There you go. No, I don't think that's it. I'm pretty certain we're not paying him that. So we'll wait till next summer when he joins. But I think we're paying him something like £180,000 a week. And something like a £12.75 million signing on fee. But after we offered him that, we then got an email come through that Tottenham have offered him a contract. And I'm sitting here thinking, surely there's no way in the world Florian Wirtz is choosing Tottenham over Barcelona. That wouldn't happen in real life. I'm telling you that now. And hopefully it doesn't happen in FM. And thankfully it didn't. So he's joining us on a free transfer. So we're basically taking the risk of getting by without Pedri, which I'm quite happy that we can get by without him. And by the way, for those of you that don't already know, it is quite a common thing, this, but if you want to sell players, or if you sold players and there's sell-on fees and things like that, go into here. If you're struggling for money, go into here. Let's just have a look at who we've got that we could cash in on. So, wrong one. Where are we? I saw someone in here earlier on that I thought would be a good option. Here we go, Junior Mwanga. Now, we sold him to West Ham. We're due 1.1 million after what I presume was originally 50 league appearances. The fact he's only played 3 league appearances so far is clearly not a first team regular for them. The board have negotiated a potential buyout fee for this clause. If you choose to sell this clause, you will receive £705,000 from West Ham. And I kind of look at that and think, if I'm struggling for money, that's absolutely worth taking, because £705,000 is better than nothing. And if you wait for the 1.1 million, you're probably getting nothing. There's also a sell-on clause, 20% profit made on the next transfer will be owed to Barcelona, signed for 8.75 million. Your board has negotiated a potential buyout fee for this clause. If you choose to sell the clause, you'll receive £615,000 from West Ham. So in total, we could get like 1.3 million from selling these. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to sell them. Let's just sell them. Oh no, not him. Oh no, I sold the wrong one. Is this what? Oh no, yeah, no. So we sold that one and it's just gone back to that one. Okay, phew, for a minute I thought we'd actually sold the wrong clause. But yeah, so as you see here, we sold that. Transfer budget's 599,000, but we have received 705,000. And in terms of money received, For the other one, 615,000 goes up by 523. So in total, even our transfer budget has gone up by an extra £1 million. Talking of transfer budgets, let's go over and have a look at the finance screen. Okay, so here is a finance screen, and as you can see, we've got £276 million in the overall balance. That was like 215 or something like that at the beginning of this episode. Our transfer budget, which was originally £249,000, and we have spent money. You know, bear in mind, in the summer transfer window, we spent like £220 million, something like that. And we're up to having £196.5 million in the transfer budget. I mean, I don't know how I'm meant to spend all this. In the wage budget, we have upped the wage budget ourselves, because at one point we were spending 3.9 million exactly, and we only had about £20,000 left in the wage budget. So I have upped that to 4.2 million. And that was purely because I wanted to get the Florian Wirtz transfer done, and in order to get that done, I needed to up the available wage budget. So yeah, that is there at the moment. We could even reduce that if we wanted to, and put it at 4.02, still giving us, if the scouting button works, still giving us £270,000 available in the wage budget, but also meaning we have £209 million in the transfer budget. I mean, this is mad. I've never had this amount of money at a club this early in a save. I've had it before where I've done a save with Arsenal, for example, and 5-10 years into the future, I've got all the players I need. I'm not spending any transfer budget. I'm just accumulating transfer budget and end up with like 300-500 million pound in the transfer budget. But certainly not 3.5 years into a save that we're sitting on £200 million. But anyway, let's get to the schedule. Let's have a look at what's happened since you were last here. You knew about all of these games here. We then started off against Real San Sebastian, and a 1-0 win away from home in the league there. Ousmane Diomande getting the goal for us there. Then we had Bayern Munich in the Champions League away from home. The annoying little rodent Harry Kane getting a goal for Bayern Munich in the 10th minute, but we came back. João Neves and Lois Openda with a penalty, making it a 2-1 win. Villarreal were next up in the league at home. David Rahm, Lois Openda, Gavi and Zivkovic getting the goals in that game for a 5-0 win against Villarreal. Then we come up against Leipzig, a 4-1 win at home in the Champions League. Pedri, Yeremy Pino with a couple and Lois Openda. Girona up next in the league, away from home. Lois Openda with a couple, including a penalty. Ansu Fati and Ferdi Kaliolu. A 4-2 win against Girona. Sevilla were up next in the league, a 4-1 win in that game. All 4 goals from Lois Openda, 2 of which were penalties. Real Madrid were next up in the league, and this is the first time it's the second time we dropped points. We dropped points against Atletico Madrid. Away from home, a 1-1 draw. Endrick scoring for them, Ansu Fati equalising for us. Then we came up against PSG at home, and a 1-1 draw here. Yeremy Pino getting a goal for us, but Mbappe scoring for them to put them 1 up. We then went into a part of the season where we had some easier games, really, because this was quite tough. And, you know, Real Madrid, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Leipzig, there's some really tough games in that part. But then we came up against Levante, a 1-0 win in that game. Then away from home against Athletic Bilbao, a 3-2 win in that game. 2 late goals from Lois Openda, basically turning it around. We've gone 1 up through Pedri, but then Nico and Iñaki Williams putting Bilbao 2-1 up, but then Lois Openda on 81 and 87 minutes turning it around for us. Copenhagen were up next in the Champions League. Kefren Turan with the only goal in that game and a 1-0 win. Almeria were up next. We got beat by them last season, but we won 4-0 at home this time round. Lois Openda with another couple of goals right at the end of the first half. Then came Albacete, a 4-1 win in that game. Maccabi Haifa in the Champions League, a 3-0 win. Connor Williams scoring his first goal for us from defensive midfield, of course. Valentin Carboni getting on the score sheet as well. Then we played Tenerife at a 4-0 win in that game. Lamine Yamal picking up a couple. Sivkovic also getting on the score sheet again as well. Then against Vigo, a 6-0 win against Vigo. Very therapeutic, this result. Lois Openda with another 4 goals. Lamine Yamal and Kefren Turan also getting on the score sheet. Alaves were up next with a 3-0 win. Sivkovic getting on the score sheet for us again. Openda actually missing a penalty this time round. Then we come up against Juventus, and that was their second draw of the Champions League, a 0-0 draw in that game. Vallecano up next in the league, a 5-2 win in that game, running rampant. Then Mallorca with a 3-2 win over Mallorca, and that was a lot closer than I anticipated it to be, I have to admit. Then we had Malaga in the league and a 1-0 win against them. Then came the Super Cup semi-final. As you can see from the team we put out, it was a very heavily rotated side. And yeah, Atletico Madrid beat us 3-2. Real Hispalis were up next in the league and lost it. I was going to say surprising. It's not surprising. They are in and around the European places, fighting for a European place. They're kind of this season's version of what Almeria was last season. Then we had Merida in the Spanish Cup third round. This was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Merida are like a third division side or something like that. We were 2-2 after 90 minutes. They had a player sent off right at the end of the 90 minutes. And then Sivkovic and Fati coming on to give us the 2 goals to win us the game, 4-2 in extra time. Sevilla were up next. They were comfortably put away 4-0, 3 more goals for Lois Openda. Atletico Pamplona at home. Sorry, Sevilla was in the Champions League, not in the league. Pamplona up next in the league, a 4-0 win in that game, another 2 goals for Lois Openda. Monaco up next in the Champions League, a 1-0 win. Kefram Turam. I think it's 2 or 3 times we've won a game 1-0 and it's been Turam that scored the goal. And our next game is against Atletico Madrid at home. The transfer window is actually shut at the end of January rather than the 1st or 2nd of September. So these are the fixtures we have left at the moment. We don't know who we play in the Champions League round of 16, but you'll find out about that in the next part. And I think one of the last things left to do is we'll go over and have a look at the Dev Centre and the preview of this season's youth intake. So here's a preview of the youth intake. It's meant to be an excellent intake. They've not gone as far as to say it's going to be a golden generation, but it is expected to be an excellent youth intake, with potentially 2 forwards that are rated A. Then we've got Bs for at least 1 centre-back, a central midfielder and a winger. So we could have a few decent players coming in this youth intake. I'm quite hopeful about that. If we look at the dynamics, team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere is very good, managerial support is very good. We've got this guy here, Valentin Carbone, who wants to go out on loan. I'm trying to explain to people that if they're not in my first team, I can't just send everyone out on loan. I have a squad for a reason. He's not happy. 2 of his teammates agree with him. That's Jules Koundé, who's also not happy, and Hector Fort, who's also not happy. So I'm not too worried about that. But 4 teammates do disagree as well, so I'm quite pleased with that. Noah Darvic wants to leave. I'm hoping to win him round in this second half of the season because without Pedri being here, he's likely to get more game time. He's not going to get the game time he wants, but he's going to get more game time. And then obviously when next season comes along and Florian Wirtz arrives, he will fall out of the team again. So in terms of Florian Wirtz, by the way, it's probably worth pointing out that when we look, I mean, his attributes are mental. He can play in the central midfield for us as the advanced playmaker. He probably can do a box-to-box midfielder to a degree. There you go, 4 stars for box-to-box. We can do that as well. But it would primarily be as the advanced playmaker. His actual role in the team is going to be out wide on the left where Yeremy Pino currently starts. 4.5 stars as an inside forward. I'm very happy with that. He's got pace. His strength needs a bit of work. He's got decent natural fitness. He's just very, very good. And considering he's a free transfer, that is probably the best bargain I've ever picked up in all the years of playing Football Manager. So yeah, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can even play up top as a striker, as an advanced forward if he really wants to. He can literally do everything, this guy. So he's going to get plenty of game time, which will mean that Noah Darvic will no doubt fall back down again. But there you go. Right, let's move over to part 3 of the video. Let's see if we can win the Liga. Can we win the Champions League? Can we win the Spanish Cup? And just how many goals is Lois Openda going to get this season? At the moment, he's on 28 goals and 3 assists from 28 appearances. 22 goals in 19 games in the league. If we actually have a look at the league, he is the top goal scorer by 4 goals clear of Endrick. Lamine Yamal is actually 3rd on 11 goals. So I think there's not a lot of goals being scored in La Liga this season, if that's anything to go by. But yeah, can Lois Openda be top goal scorer again, and can we win La Liga and the Champions League? Let's move over to part 3. We have done the quadruple. We have won the La Liga, we have won the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, the Spanish Cup. No, we didn't win the Super Cup, the Spanish Super Cup anyway. But in terms of the league, yeah, we won that at a canter, actually. 14 points ahead of Real Madrid. They kind of capitulated a little bit in the second half, not really by way of defeats, but by way of draws. I mean, they had a run of defeats here. Some of these were the UEFA Champions League. One was the Spanish Cup final. But yeah, up until here pretty much, which was mid-February, they were almost invincible. They were blow for blow with us. Then they drew in a 0-0 draw against Levante at home as well. But then they lost to Marseille in the Champions League. They then lost to us. No, sorry, they drew to us in the La Liga. They then drew with Vallecano in La Liga before having this spell here with a league defeat against Malaga. That's very surprising. A Champions League defeat against Arsenal on penalties. A Spanish Cup final defeat against us. Then followed up by a La Liga defeat against Atletico Pamplona. Then a draw against Real Hispalis. This was the period where it really cost them. They then beat Albacete before drawing with Atletico Madrid and Valencia. And then they won their last 2 games of the season. So, yeah, Real Madrid really did fall off it quite a bit there. If we have a look at the table in full, we've lost 1 game all season. That was against Real Hispalis. We've drawn 4, 2 of them against Real Madrid, 1 against Atletico Madrid and 1 against Almeria. Almeria are a little bit of an issue for us. In the last 2 away games against them, we've not won, at least in the league anyway. Scoring 111 goals, conceding just 21 in 38 games, a goal difference of 90, points of 103. I think that's the most points we've got on this save. In the first year, we got 95. Then the infamous 99, which wasn't enough to win it because Real Madrid won it with 106. Then we got 100 last season and now on 103 this season. The aim for next season is going to be to try and go unbeaten and see if we can beat Real Madrid's 106 points. That may be a tough ask, but we've got to go for something. We've got to set a target somewhere along the line. So yeah, a massively successful league season. Lois Openda, by the way, 34 league goals this season. Miles clear of Endrick, who was in second on 22. He's also the highest average rated player in the league. Bearing in mind as well, Lois Openda's not played in every league game because he's got 34 goals and 3 assists at 7.53 from 32 games. He's actually 5 of those were sub appearances. So he started 27 of those league games because we rotated quite heavily, especially towards the end of the season. If we actually go and have a look at the schedule, we were waiting on the game against Atletico Madrid. So I keep getting Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid mixed up. So we won the game against Atletico Madrid 2-0. We then played Espanyol. It seems a typical thing here where we have the 4th round, the quarter-final and semi-final first leg, all one after another. But we played Espanyol, won 2-0. Sivkovic in both of those as we rotate the team. Same rotated team for the game against Valencia that we won in extra time at 2-1. Valentin Carboni getting a couple of goals in that game. Hector Fort getting sent off. Villarreal were up next in the semi-final first leg. We won 3-1. And Lois Openda coming off the bench, I believe. Was he coming off the bench? I can't remember what time. No, that he started that. We did field a full-strength team there. Right, then we had Levant. No, hang on, where are we? I've got confused. Where have we gone to? Here we are. I've jumped like a month ahead of myself. Then we had Real San Sebastian, a 5-0 win there. João Neves with a hat-trick. Valencia away from home in the first division, a 2-0 win in that game as well. Villarreal in the league, a 1-0 win, before then playing Villarreal again in the second leg of the Spanish Cup, a 1-1 draw in that game. Playing Villarreal 3 times in the same month there. Then Sevilla in the league, 3-0 win away from home. Then we had Sevilla in the Champions League round of 16 and we won that 3-0 away from home before Real Madrid in the league was a 1-1 draw. Sevilla in the second leg, they beat us in this game 2-1. We obviously did go through as a 4-2 aggregate win for us. Levante was up next in the league, a much rotated side, 3-0 win in that game. Girona were up next in the league, a 5-1 win against Girona with Openda getting 4 goals. Athletic Bilbao were up next in the league, a 3-0 win in that game. Almeria then had their 0-0 draw. Then we played Tottenham in the Champions League quarter-final, and we beat them 3-0 in the first leg. We did lose 2-1 in the second leg, and straight after that game, Ange Postecoglou got sacked. Albacete in the middle of that in the league, we won 5-2. A couple of goals there for Carboni, one for Sivkovic. Then we had Real Madrid in the Spanish Cup final, a 4-1 win in that game. After going 1-0 down through Valverde, Lamine Yamal got us back in it in the 34th minute. 5 minutes after half-time, Lois Openda putting us 2-1 up, and there was just no stopping us from there. Ferdi Kadiolu and Lois Openda with another one. Tenerife were up next, a 2-0 win, 2 goals from Sivkovic. Vigo were the next team up, a 2-0 win in that game as well. Kefren Turam getting sent off. We then had Arsenal in the Champions League, a 4-1 win against Arsenal away from home with Kefren Turam, of all people, getting a hat-trick. We then fully rotated for the game against Alaves, but Valentin Carboni and Lamine Yamal picking up injuries. We did win the game 6-0 though. Sivkovic with a hat-trick, Koundé, Fort and Fati getting on the score sheet. Then the return leg against Arsenal, 4-0 we won this. 8-1 win in the semi-final against Arsenal. Ansu Fati with a hat-trick, Lois Openda with one as well. Vallecano were up next, Sivkovic being the deciding one there. That was in the league, again a fully rotated. We were just fielding our second string team all the way from, I think, about Tenerife, I think it was. Albacete, yeah, that one as well. Almeria, yeah, so I think Almeria is about the last league game we actually fielded our full strength side. All of them after that were basically the second string team. 6-0 win against Mallorca at home. 4 goals there from Openda. He loves scoring 4 goals in a game. Malaga were up next, a 2-1 win in that game, and then the Champions League final against Manchester City, and Yeremy Pino getting the only goal in the game in a 1-0 win as we lifted the Champions League for the second season in a row. In actual fact, when you look at the Champions League, the last 4 winners have been either us or Real Madrid. A Spanish team has won it 5 times in the last 6 years. I mean, that is pretty dominant stuff from the English teams in the Champions League. If we have a look at the Spanish First Division, as I said, Lois Openda, top goal scorer. Lois Openda, top of the average ratings. Lamine Yamal, second in the assist chart. Lois Openda with the most man of the matches as well. We just dominated everything. It's such, and when you consider we've got Florian Wirtz to come in the summer, plus whoever else we bring in with the £246.8 million transfer budget we have, with £4.5 million in the wage budget, which means we've got £512,000 in the wage budget to spend. I'm going to have a lot of time or a lot of fun scouting some players. I really am, because we can pretty much afford most people. This is what I said about Josko Gvardiol, by the way. The last time we scouted him, he had a valuation of up to £321 million, and he's currently on £425,000 a week at the age of 25. That is insane. We will not be able to afford him. I did look at Destiny Adoji to bring him in as a left back, mainly because he's just better than what we've got at the moment. He's available up to £144 million. His wage at the moment is £175,000, so it wouldn't massively break the bank. But yeah, if we separate this by ability, there's a guy here from Bayer Leverkusen as well who can play left back and centre back. But you know what? That's all for next week's episode. Next week's final episode, by the way. Team cohesion, excellent. Club atmosphere, excellent. Managerial support, very good. Valentin Carboni still wants to leave. All the others have made peace with it. So I'm quite happy with that. And I think what we'll do now is we move over to the end of season review and see what that's got to say for itself. And here is the end of season review and our 4 lovely trophies. Going from right to left, we've got the UEFA Super Cup, the Spanish Cup, the Champions League and La Liga. That looks beautiful. It really does. If only there's a World Club Championship on there as well. I can't believe we never saw that on our end of season review last time round. But anyway, let's get on with things. New arrivals, João Neves has been given sign of the season, £64 million, 41 appearances from the start, 14 from the suspension, that's 55 in total, 10 goals, 13 assists at 7.30. Yeah, he has been sensational, he really has. David Rahm from RB Leipzig for £42 million, 42 starts, 4 sub-appearances, so that's 46 appearances in total. 4 goals, 16 assists, 7.16. If you're wondering why there's no board transfer reactions for these, by the way, is because we've had an election at Barcelona, and is it Laporte? He's basically been re-elected, so yeah, I don't know why that it's classed as a takeover, even though he's remained in place. But there you go. Jovan Sivkovic, 21-year-old elite striker from SK Rapid, £13 million, 17 starts, 9 sub appearances. That's 26 appearances, 14 goals, no assists, 7.14. He's been very good. I've been really impressed with this guy, and to the point where if Openda got a long-term injury, I would have no concerns about him, or Carboni for that matter, actually taking the mantle up on a regular basis. At a value of up to £58 million, there's a guaranteed profit to be made on him. Jeremy Pino coming from Villarreal, 24-year-old elite winger for £63 million. Don't know what Road has got to do with it, but 43 appearances, 11 goals, 6 assists at a flat 7. His place is under threat next season from Florian Wirtz, there's no doubt about that. And Connor Williams, a 19-year-old Welsh wonder kid coming from Aston Villa for £33 million. 22 starts, 4 sub-appearances. He's actually made more appearances than what I thought he would. He's only got the 1 goal and no assists, but he's at 6.93. For a defensive midfielder, that's not bad at all. And like I say, we bought him in for £33 million. He now has a valuation of up to £77 million. He's only 19 years old. He's still a wonder kid, got 5-star potential. He could do really, really well for us. It'll be interesting to see how he comes along next season as we continue to try and give him plenty of game time. In terms of the ones that went out, we picked the big ones. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa went to Al Ittihad for £75 million. He's had a good season. 5 goals, 12 assists at 7.40. Pedri at Manchester City, £170 million, 23 appearances, 4 goals, 8 assists at 7.20. He's going to be a success wherever he goes, let's face it. Mika Faye went out for £8.5 million, 27 appearances, 6.89 to Sevilla. He's done all right. Rafinha has barely played in Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Junior Mwanga has made 8 appearances at 6.63, and that's basically it. Moving on to the season's results. I mean, we already know, they've already been through them, but this is what we've done in the league. If you want to separate the fixtures and see what happened in that. 92% average home attendance. Lois Openda, top goal scorer with 34 goals. In the Champions League, Lois Openda and Kefram Turam with 6 goals. I think it's the Champions League game, wasn't it, where Turam got his hat-trick. Won that, 92% average home attendance. And yeah, it was a very, very decent Champions League where the knockout stages was just flawless. It really was. In terms of the Super Cup, won that, 92% average home attendance. Lois Openda and Jeremy Pino with 1 goal each. Spanish Cup, Jovan Sivkovic was the top scorer there. Again, 92% average home attendance. And the Spanish Super Cup, same thing. Koundé and Yamal with 1 goal each in that game. But we obviously didn't win that. We were semi-finalists in that one. Biggest win was a 6-0 win against Vigo. The match to remember was the 3-0 win away from home against Levante. I think there's other matches to remember. I'm not sure how they pick that, but I wouldn't have had a 3-0 win away from home against Levante as our match to remember. I probably would have had the Champions League final, to be quite honest. Goal of the season was from Fati. Fati provides a perfect finish to an excellent team move by scoring an accurate finish in a 4-2 win against Merida in the Spanish Cup. Looking at the finances, everything's looking really rather healthy in that respect. 5-star worldwide, we can't improve on our reputation any more than what it already is, but sponsorship has gone up again. Broadcast revenue has gone up by like 1 million. Corporate and hospitality has gone up by about 600,000. Competition prize money has gone down somehow, and the matchday commercial and retail has gone up by a few £100,000 as well. £116 million made in merchandise sales last season. £1.7 million shirts were sold. Gavi, Openda, Ansu Fati, Lamine Yamal and João Neves were the top shirt sales. For a second season in a row, 100% green on the team of the year. They've gone with Mamadashvili in goal, Ram and Ferdi in the wing-back position with Antonio Silva and Diamande in the centre. I don't argue with any of that back five. Thuram, Gavi and João Neves as their midfield. Fine with that. Fati and Yamal out wide with Openda up top. I mean, Yeremy Pino played most of our games on the left, I think. But yeah, Fati had the best average rating. I won't disagree with it, basically. Then we get into record breakers, awards and all that. August, November, February, March, April, I won Manager of the Month and then I won Manager of the Year. Gavi has the most assists by a player in the season with 18. Sorry, I saw 22. I'm assuming it's 22. No, 18 assists. He now has a record for that. Then the Player Awards, Fans Player of the Season is Lois Openda. Young Player of the Season is Lamine Yamal. João Neves is the signing of the season. Ansu Fati, as we know, is the goal of the season. Top goal scorer with 44 goals is Lois Openda. I think it was 43 last season, so he's beaten that by 1. Most assists, Gavi with 18. Most Player of the Match awards, Lois Openda with 10. And then highest average rating is Lamine Yamal and Ousmane Diamande with 76 passes completed per 90 minutes is the most passes completed per 90 minutes. If we have a look at history in the making, that spell of football in the middle of the season was the making of Barcelona. It really set them up for success. I think this stuff's nonsense, quite honestly. Once Barcelona got rolling in the middle of the season, it looked hard to stop them going on to this success. And then our 4 trophies there and a list of them in case you don't know what they look like. Manager timeline is what the manager timeline is, as I always say. If we have a look at the supporter profile, the hardcore is at 5%. The core has gone down to 16. The family is staying at 23. Fair weather has gone up to 24. Corporate is at 5 and casual is at 27. Low influence on the board for the supporters. Our social media is now 81.4 million followers, gone up by 2.7 million, and nearly 150,000 supporters on the waiting list. If we carry on going through, I mean, the idea is going to be to win the Champions League next season. Squad club, we just accept that. Squad dynamics, yeah, we'll have a look at that in more detail in a moment. End of season team meeting, win the league, basically. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? There you go. Win the league. That's exactly the response I was after. That'll be all for now. Goodbye. Go on your holidays. Have fun. Sunbathe. Go to the casinos. Do whatever you need to do. Training camp destination. I don't think we got this last time round. We're going to go to America for a training camp destination because I've not been there yet with Barcelona. And that is pretty much all she wrote for this episode. We'll have a closer look at the dynamics. Team cohesion is excellent. Club atmosphere is excellent. Manager sports very good. The youth intake, by the way, is decent. We've got Robert Sayens as a centre-back with 5-star potential. He's 16-year-old Spaniard. The fact he's only 5'10", I could do with him growing a little bit. Then we've got Emiliano Silva, who's 4.5-star potential, central midfielder. I mean, he's got great passing already. His determination's rather low, though. He's only 15 years old. Then we have Ricard, a right-sided attacking midfielder, 4.5-star potential. And then the rest of them start to drop down a little bit. So it's not an excellent intake, but there's a few potential people there that, if we're being completely honest, I won't ever know anything about because we're not going to be here long enough. Right, that is it for this episode. We will come back next week for the final episode of Rebuilding Barcelona. I'm having great fun doing this, and I'm going to try and buy some super exciting players in the transfer window, ready to show off in part 1 of next week's video. And then next week's video will be the final rebuild of the FM24 cycle. We will be coming back for more rebuilds in FM25, but I'll tell you all about that in part 3 of next week's video. Thank you very much for watching this one, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.